You are listening to Krystal Clear Lore, a Wormsong production.
This is the tale of Pretty.
Gifu City was always loud and busy, as it was the largest city in Gifu Prefecture of Japan. Usually this meant that it had a fantastic nightlife to offer as well. But as Kenji had another drink at the Star Club, he noticed that the place felt completely strange. People were dancing and drinking, yet it almost felt as if they were just all pretending to have a good time tonight. Like it was all some sort of kabuki theater instead of a nightclub. A salaryman by trade and an accountant by profession, Kenji always enjoyed the time he could sneak off to the Star Club. He was single and childless, which wasn't surprising when you factored in his 60-hour work weeks. However, he became lonely, so he usually ended up at the club after his shift. Most nights he unwound with a few drinks with co-workers or tried to find some female company for just a few hours. He just wasn't in the market for a longer-term relationship, but Kenji enjoyed his single nights of passion. After all, it helped release some of the stress and filled some kind of a void in his life. A void that he knew came from not having a stable life outside of work, but he never quite knew what to do about it other than seek temporary solace in the arms of a woman. He had come to the club in order to hopefully experience another stress-releasing night, but the pickings tonight were slim. Every woman here was either with a man already or worked here. He didn't feel like getting kicked out for hitting on staff. As he finished his latest drink, he asked the bartender, "Pretty weird right now. What's with the mood tonight? All the women get scared away?" The bartender kept wiping the counter down as he answered, "It's apparently a bad night tonight." "What do you mean?" "Some priests over at the Inaba shrine said there were bad omens tonight. Apparently they believe an Onryo is on the prowl." Kenji snorted. "Right." The bartender stopped cleaning and stared at him, raising an eyebrow. After an uncomfortable minute, he said, "I would steer clear of any beautiful women tonight, just in case." Kenji knew that most Japanese citizens would find him not having a lot of belief in the paranormal odd. They believed in the existence of yokai and strange events as having supernatural meaning as a part of life, but not him. After all, when a drunk driver ran off the road and killed his mother years ago, he had assumed it was just the driver's fault. Some said that there had been another entity at work, but no one ever found anything, which means it was probably stories people had made up to explain the world around them whenever anything went wrong. After this musing and figuring he was striking out on the lady luck tonight, Kenji paid his tab and slightly stumbled out of the bar. He only lived a few blocks away, on a path he normally took and knew well. The cool night air would probably help with the tipsiness, so he walked on home. It was foggy tonight, but Kenji wasn't worried. He could walk these streets blindfolded and be fine. He was so overconfident, he nearly ran into a woman that was standing at the edge of a street light. "Sumimasen," he apologized, bowing. The lady said nothing, but stared at him in return. Rising from his bow, he saw that she was wearing a face mask which covered most of her face, but the parts he could see, gorgeous. Kenji could barely believe his luck running into such a beautiful woman and ended up blinking rapidly to try to get the blood rushing back to his head.
Am I pretty?
The woman asked after a few moments. Kenji answered quickly and without any hesitation. "Yes, of course. You're the most beautiful woman I've ever met." She was so beautiful that his pants were getting a bit uncomfortable. He debated for a minute on how to get her to come back to his apartment with him, when the woman smiled and removed her mask.
Even like this?
It was then that Kenji saw the most gruesome scars he had ever witnessed. It was as if someone had taken a knife to the corner of her mouth and sliced her all the way to her ears on both sides. Kenji wondered who would have done that for about a second, when he realized that the woman was still staring at him. Compassion overriding another type of passion, he took her hands in his. Yes. And it was true. The scars were terrible, but they didn't fully mar her beauty. That could have been the alcohol talking, the exhaustion, or hell, maybe both. In that moment, however, he fully meant it. The woman smiled to reveal rows of sharp teeth. Kenji backed up immediately. "Oh, crap," he thought. Maybe the bartender was right. He turned and tried to run, but he was fully panicked. He had no idea where he was going, and he heard her right behind him. He wanted to look, but he didn't dare. He didn't want to risk slowing down at all. However, running away was no use. He had barely gotten about a quarter of a mile away when she appeared in front of him. He turned and tried to run the other way, but was quickly blocked. "Wait, stop! Why are you doing this?" he pleaded, dropping to his knees. The woman said nothing, but grabbed a pair of scissors that had been tucked in her belt, unnoticed by Kenji until now. The light from the streetlight glanced off of them right before she moved in, scissors held aloft in her hand. The last thing Kenji ever saw were the scissors opening right as she moved them towards his mouth. The next morning, one of Kenji's coworkers found him on their way to work. He was propped up against a streetlight, with his mouth cut open all the way to his ears. Spelled out in his blood next to him was just a single word. Pretty.
Welcome to Krystal Clear Lore. I'm Crystal Lance, and today we are going to talk about Kuchisake Onna with my very special guest, Snoop Dogg.
For drizzle.
That was a terrible impression.
It was horrible.
That was the worst impression you've done yet.
I know. I love Snoop Dogg, though. I'm so sorry, Snoop Dogg. If you ever hear this, you can come and slap me. I really mean it.
Oh,
but why did Snoop Dogg carry an umbrella?
I don't know why.
For drizzle.
Anyway, so I'm going to fire you in the next week or two.
Anyway, for real, that was our story about Kenji.
Yeah, Kenji did not have a happy fate with that. So
I loved it.
Thank you.
It was a great story.
So
A lot of emotions.
Kuchisake Onna is one of my favorite, I'm going to call creatures right now, to come out of Japan's lore. She is most commonly seen as a beautiful woman with long black hair wearing a mask, or she's carrying a sharp object. No, I don't mean like a full face mask. I'm thinking like COVID era masks, right? They just cover half her face. She's also been rumored to use a fan or handkerchief to cover her mouth. She normally stands between about 5'8" to over 8 foot tall. Sometimes she shows up as a monstrously tall woman.
Does that depend on anything? Is there any kind of variables to her height?
Nothing that I really found.
Or just whoever's telling the story?
I think it's whoever's telling the story.
Dude, it's like a big fish story.
Yeah,
I saw Kuchisake Onna.
Onna.
Sorry, you're right.
Onna.
I saw Kuchisake Onna.
Yeah.
And she was like 7-8 foot tall.
Yeah, it's, hyperbole.
It's always fun, Stories always do that.
She is also always carrying a sharp object. Now, that one does change because sometimes it's scissors. Sometimes it's a knife. It's just anything that she can use to cut is like her big thing.
That's scary. That reminds me of this game called Clock Tower on the old PS1. That ages me. I'm sorry. Go emulate it, folks. I don't know if anybody's going to lose any money if you do, but it's a good game. And you get chased around with a guy with a big old pair of scissors. So that's kind of what I picture.
That's probably... There's a lot of stuff coming out of Japan about, like, getting chased around with scissors, so I'm not too shocked.
You know what? You can all think of your Kuchisake Onna however you want.
Usually you will encounter her in dimly lit streets and alleys. She tends to be pretty urban and suburban. She's not a rural creature. She hangs out in the cities where people are. So she's kind of got a couple, like a big class. Like she's kind of under the big massive umbrella in Japanese culture of yokai. Yokai is a really broad term. It covers like all supernatural creatures and spirits in Japan. Specifically Japan, though. It's a specifically Japanese term.
Okay.
Her subclass is what the bartender called her, which is an onryo. It's a spirit that died with such strong emotions like jealousy, rage, or hatred that they're unable to move on. They usually have the cause of death wounds in their appearance. And they only ever want one thing, which is vengeance for their death.
So the Chelsea grin, essentially, in the story that she had, that was her death wound, essentially? Or just
much.
part of it, kind of an overall aspect of her death?
Yeah, so Kuchisake Onna was her origin story. She was rumored to be the beautiful and vain wife of a samurai. While he was off at war, she was having an affair, and when he came back and discovered it, he slit her mouth from ear to ear to destroy her beauty.
Oh, man.
There is other versions that says it was done by her homely sister in an act of jealousy, but the samurai killing his wife feels, I don't know, the vibes are better for that one. That feels a bit more accurate.
Yeah.
So,
I like the ear-to-ear thing. There's a metal song that reminds me of by Whitechapel called Ear to Ear. I think it's more vulgar than that. We won't get into the real
Black
title.
Dahlia murder, but
possibly, yeah. Highly likely to be.
Yeah.
For being death metal, obviously.
The other thing is so Onryo is her class, and that is also like a subclass that would include Samara from The Ring.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much a lot of them are these spirits of women that have like this long black hair. I'm sure I will be talking about more, including the Rokubi, and there's a lot. So I'm sure we'll be talking about more as the podcast goes on.
Yeah.
However, I found it really interesting when I was doing research. I discovered that the term Onryo, the first written text having it was the Gukangsho, which means jottings of a fool. It's a 7-volume.
I've got a lot of those. If you want to buy my 7-volume collection.
Yeah, it was a 7-volume collection of Japan. It was written by the Buddhist priest Jien in the early 13th century.
Oh wow!
So according to him, Onryo were only as powerful as the reason for appearing. So a woman dying because she was discovered having an affair might have a stronger reason than a woman that had been killed in an accident, right?
Right. So it's kind of like a big energy thing, or
yeah. How angry is
goes
she?
into it.
How much emotion was there when she died?
I like that. It's kind of deep.
Does also say that. So one of the interesting things with her is if she was just here for vengeance on her husband or her sister, depending on the version, she would have been long gone by now. And priest Jien actually does reference that in the Gukangsho.
Oh.
Apparently, before the 8th century, Onryo were only known to inflict calamity on those it was specifically directed to. So only those that had done them wrong or killed them were victims of the Onryo's curse.
Okay. It's almost like a justice woven in.
Yeah.
It's always fun, right?
Yep. And
scary justice, though. And, that's kind of cool because... I'm sorry. We're gonna hear about a lot of these where there's just kind of more of just like it's just murderous or it's just whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But this one kind of has like a deeper purpose, meaning, everything to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Because you said it was kind of a yokai, right?
Yeah, it's a yokai.
It's a yokai, and that's kind of almost. Those are almost like it's hard to say religious, but that's kind of a thing in their spirituality, isn't it?
Yeah, so Japan's a really unique culture in that I did bring this up during the story. A lot of them have full beliefs in the yokai, and it's just a part of life to them that, obviously if you don't leave, like, if you encounter a kappa, you need to leave a cucumber out.
Yeah.
Or, you need to be careful about following lights into the woods or things like that. Like, it's just a normal part of their life. Just like here where we live in the Pacific Northwest, we're taught how to avoid moose and bears. Theirs was like, this is how to avoid, angering the spirits.
Well, it's kind of cool because obviously to avoid a bear or a moose, there are certain behaviors like A, don't go in the woods.
Yeah.
B, if you're going to go in the woods, blah blah blah, go on forever. This isn't a survival guide. But with the yokai, it's kind of the same thing. It's like behavior manipulation allegories, So like we have that with Christianity is very big in the Western cultures, and then there's a lot of other Buddhism and other things like that. But there's always these allegories for like here's how to avoid certain like bad feeling scenarios, whatever. By here's how you do your behavior, and so that's kind of like in a way maybe not their whole version, but a kind of version or tie-in over there. I don't understand. Obviously, I'm an American, so I'm not exactly well versed in Japanese culture. So it's just very interesting to start tying it together and kind of relating it to other ways of life.
Right.
Especially through these stories. Like I can't wait to hear about other yokai and other kind of. I'm sure there's other cryptids and
there's so many.
We haven't even talked about like the that haunted. Not the haunt. Is it haunted necessarily? It's notorious for sure. Definitely haunted. It's definitely haunted, but I think it's like a level above that. I don't know if there's a word for it in English. Yeah, I don't think there's a word for it in English for like it's a level beyond haunted. If it's a suicide, there's a lot of really dark energy there.
There's a lot of stuff. We'll have to do a whole episode on Aokigahara.
Do you think maybe she's been there? been seen there or anything like that? I mean,
you
come
know,
on, if
wouldn't
it's
be
a big death culture
no,
thing.
because okay, she's not rural.
No, fair. That is pretty rural. But people
She's
from the
not.
city go there to do
True,
their
but she's
thing.
not interested in that. So
Okay.
her thing is too. So like I was saying before, I got tangentially just completely thrown into the wind again.
My bad.
That's okay.
I just was trying to understand. There's a lot to. Japan is very vast, and a lot of things tie in and out of each other. So,
so Onryo used to only attack their like one target, right? But now, and this happens a lot in Japanese culture, is it can infect you like a plague.
oh,
So if
scary.
she'll attack so she attacked Kenji, but Kenji's not the one that killed her, right? She's been dead for centuries.
Yeah.
At this point. And then she'll probably end up going after someone else and stuff like that. And that is kind of the whole thing. So she a lot of Japanese yokai, especially spirits, they have a modus operandi. They have a set MO that they do. So if you see her, she will ask you, watashi kirei, which means am I pretty beautiful? You can say no, and she will follow you home and still kill you in your bed. Or you can,
oh boy.
Or you can say yes, and she will remove her mask and ask again, "Kore demo?" Like kore demo, there demo.
Yeah.
Which means even like this. If you say no, if you try to run away, she'll kill you. If you say yes, she'll kill you and mutilate your face. So I don't really think there's a way out.
It doesn't seem like it. It's almost like playing with you, you know?
Yeah, she's also really fast. So that's something I was trying to write into, that she is claimed to be able to run 100 yards in 3 seconds.
Oh, my goodness.
There is no outrunning her. So you can try to run away, but you're not going to.
Oh, yeah, it's like in the movies or in the animes. It's like you just see the character. Ching, 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 ching.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly kind of what she is.
That's kind of how I picture her. Like Enderman.
Yeah.
For you younger folks. Or people who have experienced vast amounts of free time.
Right.
Who are also adults. Sorry.
The only way that I've ever found there's 2 ways you can survive her, apparently. Maybe actually 3. I'm remembering my notes. There's actually 3. So one way is that when she asks, am I pretty? You can be like, you're okay. You're average. It's so-so. Apparently this, it's such a non-answer that it actually confuses her. Because she doesn't know how to handle that.
Oh
she's
my gosh.
What? It's not a yes or no, so she's just like, I don't get it. And it gives you the chance to kind of GTFO while she's trying to figure out what you're saying.
Oh.
She's also super polite.
That's good.
So if you meet her and she says, am I pretty? You can be like, I'm so sorry, miss. I'm running late. She will literally bow and let you pass.
Oh, nice.
Unscathed. Just be like, no, go. It's okay.
There's not much of a problem with being kind, is there?
No.
And I feel like even if she can recognize that, hey,
it's just the weird.
Don't be an a-hole.
This is the weirdest thing to me. I was like, all the things she's just like, oh, you're running late. Oh, okay, here you go.
That one's interesting. Not a lot of stories do that. I'm so sorry. I'm inconveniencing you as a scary monster thing.
Well, it is also a big part of their culture, right? They are not.
Yeah.
If you say you're running late to somebody that's alive, they will just get out of your way and be like, okay, go.
This is what I love about it. It's still woven into even their little tales, But of course, if they believe it like they do, I have no problem with that either. I still, who knows?
And apparently,
I've never been to Japan. I haven't. How am I supposed to have seen a yokai?
The last part, other way you can get survive, like 100% survive, is apparently she has a sweet tooth.
Oh boy.
She really likes hard candies, especially beko ame, which is like little hard candies. They're made from sugar and starch syrup, and they're traditional Japanese sweets. You can give her you can just throw them at her and give them to her, throw them at her, whatever, and she will literally stop to pick up the candy instead of coming after you.
Yeah, it's like a little Werther's original.
Yeah, I saw a lot of other ways to do it, but only in I could not go between multiple sources.
I see.
It was one source be like, oh, it's like this. And I was like, okay, well, let me see if I can find that anywhere else. Nope. I'm like, I don't think that's exactly right then. But those are the 3 that were listed in multiple sources.
Interesting. So Granny's safe if she got that bowl of them mysterious strawberry candies.
Oh, yeah. Mysterious candies.
Yeah, that's it. That's the secret. That's why Granny always had them hard candies. She's just going to offer it up to the yokai.
Right. Just in case. You never know.
Yeah, take notes, people.
Okay, so you ready for the really weird fact this week?
Of course.
She was in the newspaper.
Oh, of course. Okay. I was expecting this because it's like, of course. So
so in 1979, Japanese newspapers actually reported sightings of Kuchisake Onna.
Oh.
Kuchisake Onna. And it caused nationwide panic. Because of
course
it did.
Okay. Like, this isn't just like a thing where it's like, haha, it's in here. A little reference, a little Easter egg.
No, this was like a real thing.
Guys. I mean, we have our version with the War of the Worlds broadcast, if that's allegedly.
No, that happened. Promise.
Well, yeah, that was a broadcast, but I don't know how it might have been exaggerated.
No, it didn't.
Some of the story I've heard, but anyway. Nope. Either way, we have our versions of that. There's actually versions of that in England I've heard about. In the UK, they had this TV show that was super scary. Or was it that or a radio show? I'm sorry, I'm not an expert here. It's just something I heard, but yeah, go on.
So, apparently, it was first reported in Gifu Nichi Shinbun, which is a newspaper in the Gifu prefecture, which is why I put the story there, because apparently that's where she showed up first. Then it was re-reported in Shukan Asahi, which is a national weekly newspaper magazine, and then Shukan Shincho, which is another weekly news magazine. Those are the three sources I was able to pull from to find that.
Nice. Did you look at if these were tabloids?
So I would say the weekly news magazines of Shukan Asahi and Shukan Shincho might be closer to what we would call tabloids. But Gifu Nichi Shinbun didn't seem like that. It seemed like an actual, like a county, what we would call a county, like a prefecture-wide, like, newspaper.
Interesting. Any scans of this by chance, or was it just the transcription?
There was some you could find. They didn't hold up great. I couldn't read all of them.
Interesting. I was just wondering if maybe we should throw some of these on the social media for you to feast your eyes on for your own, guys.
If I can find more pictures of them that aren't in just terrible condition, I 100% will.
Cool. So yeah, get on our Instagram. You know
how. Let's see. So interestingly, when I first heard about Kuchisake Onna, I always assumed she targeted men. Maybe women once in a while, but men always seemed like her target.
Oh.
Apparently, in these newspaper stories, she was targeting kids and chasing them in the dark.
No.
So.
Oh, can you imagine? Okay,
let's nationwide, you have children fearing for their safety as they're having to walk home from school alone.
Let's pretend for a minute this is real. And for all we know, it's in the newspaper. It is.
It might be real.
So, man, yeah, I'm just picturing our kids just walking home, la-di-da, having a good old time, thinking about the day, thinking about what they're going to do when they kick their shoes off, do a little, in Japan, I guess, some chores and some homework or whatever, and, you do your thing. And then, just out of the blue, a terrifying monster is just chasing you. You don't know what's going on. You're just like, oh, my God. I'm just picturing this all in my head. It's real. And I would be absolutely terrified. Who wouldn't, honestly?
Seriously.
You'd have to be crazy. But some kids, huh?
Yeah, kids. They were chasing them in the dark.
And they run home and tell their parents?
Yeah, and the parents called the police, and it literally got reported in the papers, and it just stirred up a whole nationwide panic.
Oh, my God.
Because remember, this feels real.
Didn't any of the parents witness any of this? Or
Not that I could find. It seems like the kids were witnessing it. Now, okay, so interesting. Okay. The sightings ended shortly after a woman was found with similar facial scars.
Oh.
She got hit by a car.
What?
And then the story stopped.
So do you think there was one of them meetings in a room, and they were like, guys, we can't print any more of these. It's causing some deaths.
Now, I don't know if she was chasing. There wasn't a lot of conclusion drawn, and that might just be because of the way that the Japanese media is structured.
Oh.
Especially back in the 70s and 80s. But
I just have a vivid imagination.
She was a real woman with facial scarring that was chasing kids.
Yeah.
The kids saw her. She wasn't chasing them, but saw her enough that they thought she was Kuchisake Onna, and
okay, I have one more.
Said that she was chasing him because kids, kid brain.
One more hypothesis then.
Okay.
So today, one of my coworkers gave me this taffy. It looked like any other taffy, and I ate it, and it was really, really spicy. And
nice.
And their cosplay is a very big thing in Japan.
I don't know if it was that big in the 70s.
Maybe not. I might be connecting completely wrong dots, but I'm just saying, maybe someone did a really good cosplay, and then they're like, you know what, I gotta go scare some children. Because my first thought after eating that taffy was, oh, we should throw these out at the parade or at Halloween or et cetera, put them in a bag of real taffy as a roulette.
That's messed
So
up.
maybe someone did a really good cosplay, and they're like, they just couldn't help it. It's human nature. And they're like, I gotta go scare these kids walking by every fucking day.
I don't know. I don't know which one it is because she could have just scared him a little bit, or who knows.
I'm probably not correct. It's just fun to think about.
That's totally fair.
I have a vivid imagination. I got to throw you a curveball here and there.
Well, now here's the other thing: is there were more sightings.
Oh,
after she was found, but it was like 20 years later in 2000, they saw her again.
Here it comes
during
back.
Foggy Nights.
It's the sequel.
Yeah, for a Foggy Nights in the city, they were fun. Kids were seeing her again.
Yeah. Sadly, okay, we're not sponsored by NordVPN or anything yet, but we should get that and do
Watch this episode get sponsored by NordVPN.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. I'll have to go back and edit it. Don't worry. But my point is, I got to get the thing where it changes my region to Japan and see if there's any movies about.
So there are movies.
Sure
there is a lot.
Any Western ones that have been regionally?
Yeah, it's actually called a Slit-Mouthed Woman. So Kuchisake Onna means Slit-Mouthed Woman in Japanese.
Yes.
So you can find, the Slit-Mouthed Woman.
Just have a feeling I shouldn't Google it with that wording.
Yeah, definitely make sure you're putting Slit-Mouthed Woman in. It's I would say it's creepy.
I kind of want to watch it now. I'm just curious because I've never seen any media portraying it that I know of. Maybe there were some derivatives that I'm not even aware of yet, but
I would say it looks like it was
you were saying it was like The Ring, kind of like those kind of things.
Yeah. It's let's see. There's Carved, which is a Slit-Mouthed Woman in 2007. Then Carved 2, the Scissors
they're focusing
Massacre
too much on the whole
in 2008. Now the one that I know of is Slit-Mouthed Woman from 2008. It's a low budget movie.
Those are the best. Is that on what is that streaming platform for the horror movies?
We'll have to figure out where
Stabbed or Slashed or whatever. What is that platform? Oh wait, don't say it because I want to get a sponsor. I'll do a good sponsor.
Hey, we'll give you a good.
Well, hey, there's probably some really good episodes to pull some information from. You know what I mean? I'll Google that later.
Carved is the one that I was thinking of.
Carved,
but then they have.
Well, okay. My point being though, so this originated in Japan. I would like some Japanese produced material because I bet it would just be, it'd be more accurate, spot on, and probably terrifying.
Oh yeah.
Because some of the fear about it is the innocence, the being kind, but it's also juxtaposed by being a terrifying, visually terrifying monster, right?
Actually, this Carved is actually a Japanese. Actually, was directed by Koji Shirashi.
Oh,
and it was written by Shirashi and Naoyuki Yokota.
Wow,
I am sorry
okay.
if I'm mispronouncing any of that. I don't speak fluent Japanese, but I'm
sure
trying.
they understand. That's interesting, guys. Go check it out.
So yeah,
I'm going to probably do that. Is there any video games? Is there? Because there was that one game about all the yokais, Ghost Wire Tokyo.
Yeah, she's in there a lot, and they don't just have one of her; they have multiples, which I think was actually worse.
Oh man,
I would have rather just one.
What part of the game was that? Because there was a hospital
all over it.
Oh, I just remember being creeped out by a hospital, and if there was one of those in there,
yeah, no, she was.
Help me out.
She was in there several times, and she was a lot. She was actually pretty hard to beat too, because of course she is.
Now,
there's
a lot of video games or even just kind of mangas and stuff, probably a lot of animes about monster capture in Japan. I don't understand why that is. It's fun though, right? You go catch bugs in the woods sometimes, or you catch animals for pets. But there's just always this thing there. And like Pokemon and that kind of thing, that's technically part of this, but there's a lot of them that were yokai. I remember on PS1 there was a few games where you kind of captured yokai. I just didn't know what it was at the time.
Right.
It's just kind of interesting. I wonder if I wonder if she was featured in those games.
I don't know if she was featured in a lot of games. I did find something kind of weird.
Ooh, I
so
like that.
Japan is going through this video game came out called Date Everything, where they had
Okay.
If you haven't heard of it, go watch the trailer. I just pause this, go watch the trailer, come back. It's really funny because it's like, you can date your toaster, you can date your grand piano, you can date your bed. And I'm like...
If I wasn't already exposed to a degree of Japanese culture that I have been, I would be so like, what the hell?
Like what? I've watched a lot of anime. I've been exposed to Japanese culture. I've researched a lot of Japanese culture because I got curious and fell down a few rabbit holes. It still made me go, why Japan?
Yeah, there's a limit.
But I'm bringing that up because there is this manga that is out, and it's called Even If You Slip My Mouth. And it is about a high schooler engaged to Kuchisake Onna.
Oh, God. Okay.
And I'm like, no.
This is a dating sim as well, I'm sure, if you go on Steam.
And the problem is the artwork's really cute, so I kind of want to read it.
Oh, God. I can't wait till we have a video podcast someday. We'll be showing this stuff. Oh, you
cute.
guys.
We'll post it on Wormsong's Instagram and stuff and make sure.
Yeah, we'll try to keep you guys included the best we can on that with visual stuff because, it always helps to have a bit of a visual aspect.
And there's apparently from what I'm gleaning from the covers, there looks like there's going to be a love triangle in it. So I'm like, what?
Oh, boy.
What is happening?
Typical story, it's got to get a bit intense.
Yep.
Just like the story you read. Or I read, I'm sorry, the story you wrote and I read.
There you go.
Which I loved. I really loved your story. It kind of it kept everything condensed and had all the details pertinent. It was entertaining and it kind of was creepy. It was really creepy because, you're just walking, you're just doing your thing or you just anything. Because it's the normalcy bias. You're just living your day to day.
Right.
Bam, you caught a Kuchisake Onna. Kuchisake Onna.
Kuchisake Onna.
Kuchisake Onna. Sorry. I've spent so much time making fun of it.
Ooh, okay.
Because it was hard to pronounce that I just can't get it right.
That's okay. I'm looking up more games because the only thing that I found easily was Ghostwire Tokyo, which is a banger game.
I don't know. Maybe I was wrong, but there are yokai games on, especially the PS1, if I remember right. Probably the Game Boy, a lot of them too. I'm aging myself so
there's
bad
probably some
right now,
there's
guys.
some indie horror.
Well, anyway,
but nothing big.
There's definitely.
I think Ghostwire was the big one because that was she was in there. She had to be in there.
She's a very prominent yokai.
She is.
She
might be closer to a spirit than a proper yokai.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm gonna lump them together because
it's every time I researched it, it was like some do, some don't, and I'm just like, well, that doesn't help.
At the very least, there's probably an SCP about her.
Probably, actually. It would not surprise me because it's SCP.
Well, it's like Rule 34, Amendment 17 or something of the internet.
There actually is. She is SCP-6979. Yep.
If it exists, there's erotic art of it. There's a dubstep remix of it. And now I know that there's also that.
So according to the SCP article, she wears a surgical mask covering its mouth, and she actually carries an umbrella.
Ooh.
Which is different.
I like that version, actually, because it's kind of got to get off your guard a little bit and gets you off your guard.
Yeah, no matter what the weather is, she has her umbrella, which is very, very different.
Okay, now if it was sunny out and she had her umbrella, then it's a bit creepier.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
If it's a rainy day, she's unfortunately losing some creepiness points.
Right.
Because then you're just like, oh, it's just raining. But if it's closed and it's raining, about 50% more of the creepy points.
Yeah. And in the SCP, they do reference the 1979 attacks. So
yeah, that's so cool though that there was some real newspaper stories.
There's some real newspaper stories, and I always love being able to find real newspaper stories and then go back and reference them because that's when you get the weirdest, cultural shock.
If we were in Vegas, I would put so much money on there being so many in Appalachia.
There's no way. It's too rural. You'd lose all your money, my dude. Gotta remember that.
You don't think there's any newspaper article? Not from Kuchi, but
from the Slit-Mouthed Woman. If you can't say Kuchisake Onna, I like to say the Slit-Mouthed Woman. You don't have to say it in Japanese. No one's gonna be mad at you that you're saying it in English.
I'm gonna say Big C. So,
K.
and I wasn't referring to Big C.
Coochie.
I meant
K.
newspaper articles about the things we're going to cover.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be tons over there.
I don't know, actually.
And around Nevada.
I'm doing research for the next episode, and I am finding a lot of newspaper articles, but there weren't for the Tailypo.
That's true, but you got to remember, guys, Tailypo's a bit of a deep cut.
That's true. He's cute, though.
Rougarou, I'm sure there was a couple. There wasn't anything for Rougarou?
There was no newspaper articles for the Rougarou.
That's actually surprising. Well, that's actually one of those, it's so infamously probably not believable.
Right.
There's layers and there's levels to all this. It's nebulous, and I love it. Because you could blanket it all under it's cryptids, but there's so much more to it. There's history tied in. There's you can learn a lot about the area that it originated from and why, and the people there just by hearing a story that they made, and if it's real, then God, they're haunted by it, aren't they?
Yeah,
that's what I love about this, and I hope you guys do too. And is there anything else?
No, I actually think that's it. Unless you have any more questions about her. Because I studied her for way too long, to be honest. I kept getting really fascinated going down different rabbit holes, like, oh, well, what's this? And, oh, look at that.
Yeah.
It took me forever to find those stupid sweets of hers, too. I figure what the heck they are. But.
I do kind of like the fact that it can kind of be your own little version.
Yeah.
Where they had the umbrella. You just said, it's kind of, even in the descriptions, it's kind of vague, where it's like a sharp object. And I get in my brain just in the scissors from Clock Tower, from Scissorhands or whatever his name was. No, that's Edward. But no, I really like that. This was one of my favorites to cover. I don't have a lot of questions per se. I was just wondering if you have any other obscure little facts you might have forgot to throw in.
Not that I can think of. Not without delving into other parts of Japanese culture.
So maybe this was a good. Maybe this was a good break into that then, because it's probably going to tie back or come back.
Oh, we're coming back. There's way too many creatures here for us to not come back.
They'll be in another story at some point too, because, I'm excited. So, well, then in that case, that was Kuchisake Onna.
Yes, look at that.
Or Saka.
Saki.
Oh, I'm going to kill this.
Kuchisake Onna.
Kuchisake Onna.
There you go.
Well, I hope Kuchisake Onna is crystal clear.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Follow us on Threads and Insta at Wormsong Media. That's WYRMSONG Media. Want to reach out to us? Email us at wormsongmedia@gmail.com. Again, that's WYRMSONGMEDIA@gmail.com.